Ondo House of Assembly has agreed to suspend the ongoing move to impeach the state deputy governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa. Speaker of the House, Olamide Oladiji, said the decision was reached after a closed-door meeting with the National Working Committee, NWC, of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. The Speaker restated that the House was only exercising a political solution as proposed by the APC. The meeting had in attendance members of the party's National Working Committee, the Aminu Bello Masari-led 9-man Reconciliation Committee, Party State Chairman Ade Adetimehin, and 18 Ondo State House of Assembly has called on beneficiaries of microcredit loan, commerce and industry, Felix Afe, during a working visit to the office of Ondo State Microcredit Agency, assured of the Assembly's commitment.
The Ondo State Microcredit Agency was created by law. The visit of members of House Committee on Commerce and Industry to the agency could be described as a step towards boosting the economy of the state. Chairman of the committee, Felix Afe, assured of the Assembly's necessary support towards alleviating.
Before you come here, you don't even need to tell us, because we see people that are filling for, that are applying for the loan. We will see them here if these places are existing. So we want to appeal to you that we will give you all our support, particularly in the house.
The chairman of the agency, Mrs. Adenike Ademujimi, while reeling off activities of the agency, said credit facilities are granted to members of the public through its various schemes after the laid-down conditions had been met. The agency boss solicited the support of the committee in reviving the organization and informed that those given...
So when I heard that we are coming, I said, thank God, they are representative of the people. Then to the market women that were giving loan, I wanted to go and appeal to the conscience of our KBACs, because you know the Iyalojas were installed in the market. I need that support from the House member that microcredit must be resuscitated.
Other legislators of the committee stressed the need to strengthen the agency to enable it to deliver on its mandates. Omoshiliola Adesori Ajayi, Osrc News.
Amid a foreign exchange crisis in the country, the Central Bank of Nigeria's lifting of its ban on forex sourcing from official markets for the importation of 43 items has been met with mixed reactions. This decision came 8 years after the items were banned from the official forex exchange by the government of President Muhammadu Buhari. Omoriola Ogbeji reports that financial experts are of the opinion that if adequately monitored, the decision may strengthen the naira against its present condition.
In June 23, 2015, Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) announced that 41 items initially were not valid for foreign exchange, reason being that they could easily be produced in Nigeria rather than being imported into the country. Some of the affected items include rice, cement, margarine, palm kernel, palm oil products, vegetable oils, meat and processed meat products, vegetables and processed vegetable products, among others. 8 years after, the CBN's decision to lift the ban on the 43 items signifies a major step in resolving the country's forex problem, as importers of these items can now freely purchase forex from the official window at cheaper rates. Economic experts bear their mind on this.
It's not a ban on those items per se. It's a ban that they cannot participate in the official bid for forex in the country. And the intention was that this will encourage local production of those 43 items. And I think, for example, rice. Since 2015, I think Nigeria has stepped up production of rice. That we can say that we are nearing self-sufficiency.
We have to take a look at some of the items on which forex has been lifted. The issue of forex, we are talking about foreign currencies, getting foreign currencies to import some of these items. So I will mention some of the items. The first one on the list is rice. We have cement there. we have steel pipes, we have steel drums, and of course we have iron rods. We even have cellophane wrappers. We even have toothpicks. So those are some of the items on the list on which the issue of getting foreign currencies to import them into the country has been lifted. So the implication is that if you want to import those items now, you can approach the Central Bank of Nigeria so that you can have access to foreign currencies to be able to import it into Nigeria.
Mr. Stephen Awurere expressed fear over the plight of local producers as regards the new policy.
The issue of people still going to the black market, the parallel market, to source foreign exchange for these same products is bringing divergence between the two markets, the official market and the parallel market. And it's not also good for our economy. That's why the unintended consequence of this policy now may be that it might stifle local production of those 43 items.
To Mr. Peter Akingbade, the inability of local producers to produce enough for the use of the masses is doing more harm, hence the need for the intervention.
Why we have to encourage some of the items to be imported is that if they are not available, then where do we get them? Recently, you heard about what Bua Cement said, that they are ready to sell a bag of cement for 3,500 naira. That it was the chairman that said it, as against 5,200 naira. That was the price then. But surprisingly, as I am talking, cement is still sold around 5,000 naira because it is not available. We cannot say we are trying to protect the local producers and then allow our people to suffer when the goods are not available in sufficient quantity. I will give you another example, which is rice. You know, most of our people consume rice. And of course, we are also trying to encourage local farmers to also go ahead and plant rice and make it available. But over time, have they been able to make sufficient quantity of rice available? The answer is obvious, which is no. So what are we going to do to bridge the gap? We may have to import so as to bridge that gap. Because if that gap is not bridged, the implication is that the price of rice will continue to go up.
Both are of the opinions that if the policy is strictly monitored, it would deter the emergence of unintended outcome.
The CBN and the Federal Monetary Authorities must monitor this program, this policy stringently if we will not allow the unintended outcomes to crowd out all the good intentions that they have in mind.
Government should make conscious efforts by encouraging more people to produce some of these items that may not require so much technicalities to be produced here in Nigeria, so as to reduce the amount of foreign currencies that we are going to commit to the importation of these items that can easily be produced in Nigeria. So, by and large, it can be said that this new policy will bring about price stability when these foreign currencies are made available, and at the same time curtail inflation and also encourage competition.
The Apex Bank's decision to lift the forex restrictions on the 43 items is aimed at reducing foreign exchange demands for products that could be locally produced, improve employment generation, and conserve foreign reserves. Omoriola Humbeji, OSRC News.
Efforts are in top gear to construct 70 housing units for the people of Ondo State. Management of Markison Cooperative Limited gave the hint during a visit of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to the construction site of Osrc community in Akure North local government area of Ondo State. Omoriola Ugbeji again reports that 22 out of the 70 housing units have been completed. Her report.
As population growth and urbanization increase rapidly, So is the demand for affordable housing. According to statistics in 2023, Nigeria has an estimated 28 million housing deficit, with experts position that the real estate sector will need an investment of over 21 trillion naira as well as a partnership with the government to build sufficient housing for the entire population so as to provide affordable housing units for the populace in the wake of escalating rents. In order to bridge the housing gap and provide sustainable housing in Nigeria, the federal government decided to intervene. This site at OC in Akure North local government area of Ondo State is expected to house 70 units of 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms detached bungalows, 3 bedrooms terrace, as well as 4 bedroom detached duplex. The initiative is a partnership between the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and Mackenzie Cooperative Society and Investments Limited, financed through the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Representatives of the bank at the both federal and state levels arrived at the site at OC community to inspect the ongoing project. As at press time, 22 units of semi-detached 2-bedrooms apartments have been completed, while others are in varying stages of completion. Reacting, representative of Mackenzie Cooperative Society and Investments Limited, Atinuke Olawale Ogunkwa, confirmed that the project will be completed as scheduled.
We're here to witness history once again. We have the construction of a whole number of housing units going on here, both 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and so on. And yes, they are, because I've been seeing a lot of nods, and even the branch manager of the Federal Mortgage Bank that's in Akure here has given it a good percentage.
Interested and qualified persons, according to her, are eligible to benefit from the gesture. Omoriola Hungbeji, Osrc News.
Minister of Information Mohammed Idris says the federal government has no plan to gag the press, adding that President Bola Tinubu is committed to press freedom. Idris, who lamented the use of unpatriotic language by Nigerians online, however, argued that freedom of speech comes with great responsibility. Addressing the plans by Nigerian Press Council to register journalists as a way to sanitize the profession, the minister said the president believes in press freedom and believes in the freedom of expression. The minister also reviewed plans by the federal government to deploy officers of the National Orientation Agency across all 774 local government areas nationwide. He revealed that most of the information outposts in the country were unmanned, necessitating the move to restore consciousness of nationhood. President Bola Tinubu has approved the staggered takeoff of 6 out of 14 public universities established in the twilight of the Muhammadu Buhari administration. Minister of Education Tahir Mama revealed that the choice of the universities, 2 colleges of agriculture, education, and medicine each, was strategic to the skills acquisition needs of the Tinubu administration. The Buhari administration approved the establishment of no fewer than 75 universities encompassing federal, state, and private institutions within 7 years. Mama said the federal government lacked the funds to kickstart all the institutions at once as they were capital intensive. The minister added that there are plans to complete the National Library in Abuja very soon. The new Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC chairman, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, says the anti-graft agency under his watch would work harder to prevent corruption by plunging leakages. Speaking during his screening on the floor of the Senate, Olukoyede said instead of spending more money fighting corruption, he would spend less by preventing it, adding that the time has come for all anti-corruption agencies to focus more on prevention than enforcement. The members of the EFCC said enforcement is a very strong tool in the hands of the agency, which it is going to apply very seriously. On the criminal justice system, He called on all to encourage Nigeria's criminal justice system to educate in such a way that it will not drag for a very long time. Yobe State says it will partner with London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, London University College, to tackle kidney disease in the state. Yobe State Governor May Malabuni, in a meeting with renowned epidemiologists, said the state has lost many people living on the banks of River Yobe to kidney failure, and many more are now patients of the disease, hence the decision. The governor called for a quick and active intervention to save the people, assuring that his administration was prepared for every partnership and collaboration that will provide a solution to the menace. An epidemiologist at the college, Professor Neil Pitt, said data generated will be used to establish the causative agents, which will push for finding a solution. Governor Hyacinth Talia of Benue State has warned armed herders against unprovoked attacks on communities in the state. The warning came on the heels of intensified attacks on defenseless farmers and farming communities by militant herdsmen in the past few days. The latest was a coordinated attack on 3 different communities across the state, which lasted from Tuesday night to the early hours of Wednesday. The governor, who lamented cases of alleged herdsmen attacks on Benue communities, leading to loss of lives and property, said he would not rest until such barbaric acts are curtailed. The Chinese government has committed to refinance and complete the Abuja, Kano, and Port Harcourt Maiduguri Railway projects. President of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, made the pledge while responding to requests by President Bola Tinubu, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima as a bilateral meeting with the Chinese leader in Beijing. The Chinese president, who received the Nigerian delegation led by Vice President Shettima at the People's Building in China, pledged increased investment in Nigeria's power generation and digital economy. He called for the protection of Chinese nationals working in Nigeria, saying he would in turn ensure that Nigeria-China bilateral relation is stronger than before. President Xi also promised that China will enhance political support and build cooperation in all fields, just as he appreciated Nigeria's support of One China policy. Guinea-Bissau's capital has been plunged into darkness for more than 48 hours now after Turkish company Kapowership cut off electricity supplies to the West African nation due to an unpaid debt of $70 million. Economy Minister Sulaimani Saidi said arrangements were underway to pay $50 million of arrears owed by the Electricity and Water Company of Guinea-Bissau, promising that the issue would be resolved within 15 days. Akintunde Akinshomola has details.
Guinea-Bissau's capital was plunged into darkness after Turkish company Kapowership cut off electricity supplies. The West African country's economy minister said that was due to an unpaid $17 million. Suleimani Saidi added that arrangements were underway to pay $50 million of arrears owed by the Electricity and Water Company of Guinea-Bissau. He promised all the issue will be resolved in 15 days. Turkish firm Kapowership is one of the world's largest operators of floating power plants. It claimed it has been providing 100% of Guinea-Bissau's electricity needs since 2019. A Kapowership spokesman said about the situation in Guinea-Bissau that its floating power plant wasn't able to continue operating following a protracted period of non-payment. A statement added that the company had resolved for total power restoration. It's not the first time Kapowership has been involved in such a dispute. Last month, it switched off the electricity supply to Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, due to an unpaid debt of around $40 million. Akintunde Akinshemola for Osrc News.
Republican lawmakers say they have been targeted by intimidation tactics, including death threats from allies of Jim Jordan as his bid for the U.S. House of Representatives speakership falters. Several Republicans said they had been subject to a pressure campaign by supporters of Mr. Jordan, lost a second vote for the gavel. Mr. Jordan, a right-wing Republican from Ohio, disavowed the harassment. Mr. Jordan is expected to go for a third roll call on Thursday. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have left northern Gaza as Israel readies for an expected ground offensive against Hamas. The Rafah crossing between the Gaza Strip and Egypt is the sole route and the only exit from Gaza that does not lead to the Israel territory. Adirunke Kulawole has an update.
Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have headed towards the southern Gaza in recent days, heeding the warning from Israel of an impending ground invasion. The Rafah border in the south represents the only viable escape from Gaza and a lifeline to outside world. The Rafah border is controlled by Egypt and is the only exit from Gaza that does not leave the Israel territory. In response to Hamas' attack earlier this month, Israel has imposed a total blockade of Gaza, cutting off electricity to the territory and stopping all supplies of food and fuel. That means the only likely route for humanitarian aid to enter Gaza is via Rafah from Egypt's Sinai region. Egypt's 8 trucks have moved closer to the crossing, but it was unclear when and whether they will be able to cross into Gaza. Gazans with dual citizenship have also gathered at the border, hoping to be allowed through.
I am Norwegian citizen. I come every day to the Rafah border. We hear from our embassy. They called us and they told us to come to the border.
Egypt is wary of insecurity near the border with Gaza in northern Eastern Sinai, where it faced an Islamist insurgency that peaked after 2013 and has now largely been suppressed since Hamas took control in Gaza in 2007. Egypt has helped enforce a blockade of the enclave, heavily restricting the flow of people and goods in 2008. Tens of thousands of Palestinians crossed into Sinai after Hamas blasted holes in board of fortification, prompting Egypt to build a stone and cement wall. Arab countries have deep-rooted fears that Israel's latest war with Hamas in Gaza could spark a new wave of permanent displacement from land where Palestinians want to build a state. For Arabs and Palestinians, current events have echoes of Nakba or catastrophe, when many Palestinians were forced from their homes during the 1948 war that accompanied Israel's creation. Adirunke Kolawole, Osrc News.
Moscow has pledged its complete support for its ally and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who is on an official trip to North Korea, also thanked the country for its support in Ukraine. His ongoing trip sets the stage for a possible visit to the country by President Vladimir Putin. Last week, the U.S. said North Korea had begun sending large shipments of arms to Russia for use in Ukraine. Mr. Lavrov's two-day visit follows Mr. Kim's days-long visit to Russia in September, his first trip abroad since the pandemic, where he met